Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm going to be going over all of my main speed cubes. Okay, so starting off with 2x2, my main is the QiYi QD-S 2x2. It's definitely not a common main speed cube for 2x2 solvers. Of course, I don't practice that much, but still you tend not to see people using this as their main because it is a bit more of a budget cube. And in general, most people aren't going to like this as much as some of the more high-end 2x2s. But for me, in competition, I just like to have a 2x2 that turns super easily. I used to go for 2x2s that took a little more effort to turn because a lot of the fast 2x2 solvers would recommend that you want a heavier turning cube. So I took that advice, but for me, it just wasn't working out, and I noticed when I used this cube, I would get much better times. So that's why I use this cube. Not sure that I would recommend it for everyone, but it works for me, so I use it. And on 2x2, I average around high 2 seconds. If I practice, I can get it down to low 2 seconds, but I don't really practice 2x2 that much. Moving on to 3x3, this is the Angstrom GTS2M from the Cubicle. The Cubicle has stopped selling specifically Angstrom products from the old Angstrom page, but they still do sell this cube. You just have to go to Cubicle Custom and then load the Angstrom preset, I believe. This is a fantastic cube. In fact, not only do I use this for 3x3, but I use this for all 3x3 events, so 3x3, one-handed, and blind. That's why I don't have the Angstrom logo on here anymore, because I needed to take it off for blind, which I don't do too often, but I like having one 3x3 for all those events. This 3x3 honestly doesn't have very many problems at all. This has been my main for a while now. Sometimes I've had other backup mains like the MF3RS2M, or I've gone back and forth between using this and that. But for a while this has been a very solid cube for me, and I've gotten a lot of good averages lately in competition with it, so I don't see any reason to stop using it. Doesn't lock up much, and I've gotten my PB average in competition on this. It's a great cube. Really enjoy solving on it, and yeah, I would totally recommend buying this. And for the 3x3 events, I average around 8 seconds on 3x3. I average about 13 to 13.5 seconds on one-handed, and blindfolded, if I get a success, it's usually around 2 minutes and 20 seconds or 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But I don't practice that much, so my success rate is pretty bad. For 4x4, I use the Cubicle Labs WuJi M. Now this is also an excellent cube. Once again, you will have to go to Cubicle Custom and load the preset if you want to get this cube. But it's done very well for me. I actually have an Angstrom WuJi M, and personally that cube doesn't do nearly as well in solves as this one does for me, so I tried breaking that one in with 100 or so solves and it wasn't getting much better. I've heard that you just need to break that in a lot, but I don't do 4x4 enough for it to be worth it, so I'm just sticking with this cube. And the reason I like this cube better is that it's just a little bit faster and less gummy than the Angstrom version, which I really can't deal with slow 4x4s like I can more with 3x3s. Now this cube definitely isn't perfect. I'd say out of all my mains, I'm probably least satisfied with this one. All of my 3 through 7 mains, I guess, the events that I practice. I've never really had a 4x4 that I thought was fantastic. This is just the best one I have, and that's okay because I don't really do all that much 4x4. I do think that a little bit of improvement could be made in the 4x4 event area though. And on 4x4, I average around 35 seconds. In the past, I have been a bit faster, but like I said, I don't practice 4x4 much, so my times have actually gone down since the days when I would practice. For 5x5, I use the Angstrom GTS-M. This was set up by the Cubicle Pro Shop for me, and this is an awesome cube. I love this cube. I actually just used this last week when I competed at Penn Cube Day Fall 2018, and I got a sub 1 average, so PB average, and I believe that puts me in the top 100 in the world, and I also got a 53-second single, which should also put me in the top 100 in the world. So this cube has been doing very well for me. I have definitely switched over fully from the Angstrom Wushuang M5x5. That is still an excellent 5x5 in my opinion, but this one, it's really just adapted to my turning style more. I'm starting to get fewer catches, and it just really fits my solving style, honestly. It's super bubbly, super smooth. I love turning it. It just makes 5x5 a joy to solve. And on 5x5, I generally average around 1 minute. For 6x6, I use the X-Man Shadow M 6x6. This really is a great 6x6. I like this a lot more right now than the Aoshi GTS M. I believe that's what it's called. That's the 6x6 in the same sort of line of cubes as this. That one is a bit slow and locks up a lot, and just doesn't fit my turning style in 6x6. The Shadow, however, is super fluid, doesn't pop too often, and has a really pleasant feeling. This cube helped me get so much faster before Nationals this year. Fortunately, I didn't do too well in competition, but either way, I had a lot of fun practicing this event. And for 6x6, I average around 2 minutes. For 7x7, I use the cubical WuJi M. I would really like to get a Haze 7, but for now, this is working pretty well. It just pops every once in a while and has a few catching issues that I've heard the Haze 7 doesn't have as much of. I have tried the Haze, and that's a bit better, so whenever I do get that cube, that will probably overtake this as my main, but for now, this is doing pretty well for me. I've gotten a few almost sub 3 means in competition. I think they're like 303 means or 305 means or something. Something like that. I've gotten a few of those in recent competitions using this cube, and I've been improving a bit on 7x7, so I definitely enjoy solving with this cube, and I don't have too many complaints, but I just think the Haze 7 might be a little bit of an improvement. But yeah, I generally average around 3 minutes to 3:10 on this cube, and I am practicing it a bit, so I'm hoping to improve that a little bit. But that's pretty much all I have to say on this cube, so moving on to Square One. Not too much to say about Square One. I use the Pro Shop Tornado Square One. I believe it's called the X-Man Tornado. It's a really nice cube, and I don't have any complaints with it. I just don't practice Square One that much. I just include it in this list because I practice it more than I would practice an event like Megaminx, so, and I do compete in it, so I figured I should include it in my main speed cubes. But yeah, this is a really solid cube. I've had a few people borrow this at competitions who actually like doing Square One, but it's just not really my favorite event. And for Square One, I average around 20 to 25 seconds. For Skewb, I use this wingy Skewb that was set up by the Pro Shop. This is pretty much the Skewb that everyone uses, but I didn't actually get one for myself until about a month ago, I think. Maybe it was 2 months ago, but it was pretty recent. This Skewb's been out for a while, and pretty much everyone uses it now, so I definitely didn't get one until pretty recently. But yeah, this is a solid Skewb. I don't practice much Skewb anymore. I used to practice it a lot back when I had North American record, but that was a while ago. And now I average around 4.5 seconds. But if I ever decide to practice again, I don't think it would be too difficult for me to get sub 4, just because I did practice a lot at one point, so I think it might be easier to get there the second time around. And finally, for Megaminx, I used the X-Man Galaxy V2. I really just learned how to solve Megaminx, so I'm very slow at it, but I've gotten my average down to around 1 minute 30 seconds, so that's in at least competitive range in terms of I can make cutoffs at competitions now. But yeah, this event is actually pretty fun, and I definitely enjoy practicing it, so I could see myself practicing more and improving a bit in the near future, or in the more distant future, but either way, this cube is so much fun to solve. It's really smooth, and it has this really nice sort of soft, clicky feeling. It's hard to describe, but it's really fun to turn. I just need to get more used to the turning style for Megaminx in general, because as you can see, I'm not too great at turning it. But even so, this cube is a ton of fun to solve. So that's it for my main speed cubes as of December 2018. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you'd like to see what my PBs are for any of these events that I practice, I have a page linked in the description on the website QPB, I believe it's called. And I have most of my PBs for events that I practice regularly put up there. Hopefully they'll be updated, but they should be at least pretty close to my actual PB. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!